What's the future of religion?
It seems that where humanity is right now is that we are in, from the mystic perspective, could be called the ordeal. The mystic journey through all traditions is basically the same four-stage journey. It's a journey that begins with a call, when the seeker is called, and to come into spiritual awareness. Then there's the phase of the beloved, where the seeker comes into contact with that presence and feels their spirit grow and is just so enlivened and enthusiastic. And then as the seeker surrenders deeply into that, deepens that, enfolds that more into their lives, there comes a point when there's a breakdown. There's a meltdown. Something happens within the individual that causes an absolute breakup of everything that he or she knew themselves to be. And it is from that disaster, that ashes of themselves, that a new being emerges if the seeker stays true to the path and to what the fourth stage is called the union. Now the new self to emerge is the self that is no longer like the past self. It's the resurrected self. It's the crucifixion, resurrection being enacted over and again. And so that's the traditional mystic journey for the individual. But
right.
I see, and I'm hearing everybody else say the same thing, humanity is in this phase of ordeal where there's a breakdown happening. And the breakdown is, for me, seen in the lines of separation. The lines between us are getting more marked and more are stronger. Fundamentalism is screaming more. There seems to be an energy, a well-up of that. Economics, the haves and the have-nots. We're seeing these camps come into greater and greater strength. And it is from this sort of this breakdown of a harmonious, sort of tolerant humanity that I think we're being propelled into an era in which we're going to see extremes of what we could call light and dark, just extremes of knowing, of perception. And so where spirituality is right now, I believe, is in a place to guide the individual through this in a way that affirms for them, first of all, what's happening, explains what's happening, and invites them to, decide for themselves what it is that's going to emerge from the disaster. I think that we're in a phase of a human evolution where we will either rise up as a new humanity, or we're going to just end humanity and take nature with us. I think that we're really headed in that direction. It's just the forces are getting too strong. There's just too much power that we're wielding. Humanity is wakened up to its power more than ever before, but we don't know what to do with it. And so the spirituality that is needed right now is the spirituality that will awaken the consciousness of this and say, let's form this new self, this new human.
So in terms of the traditions, because we're here at the Parliament of World Religions,
right,
which is in a sense bringing together all the ancient traditions in their modern forms,
yes,
and also some of the modern traditions like your own unity. And all.
Yes, that's right.
So in light of what you just said, do you feel the traditions need to change to meet the kind of this ordeal that you described?
Okay, so last night at the opening ceremonies, there was one gentleman, I don't remember his name. He spoke up and he said, if religion is not causing an inauguration of self continuously, if you are not being reborn, if you are not finding yourself anew constantly, then it's not a path, it's not a religion, it's not authentic spirituality. And I would echo that. I would say that whatever path you're on, if it's not somehow renewing you, then it's not an authentic path. I would say that I could speak from what I see in Costa Rica, the Catholic faith, the evangelical, and I don't want to speak anything against that, but I don't see a freshness, I don't see a newness, I don't see a new voice emerging from them that's sort of guiding us through this challenging time. As a matter of fact, in some of the messages that we're receiving, against abortion, against homosexuality, in a way is kind of breaking, is kind of holding back. It's, this is not the time for this kind of dialogue. I mean, we're in a crucial phase of humanity. So the new spirituality is about a spirituality that's willing to re-examine itself. They're willing to say, are we meeting the need? Are we, as a movement, as a group, rising in awareness? Are we being reborn? Are we inaugurating ourselves continuously, or are we not? And if we are, then we're relevant. And if we're not, maybe it's time to let it go. What I know about the Catholic tradition, again, coming from Latin America, is just what I know best. I know that within the deeper teachings, within what it's taught to their priests, what's taught within, is very holistic. It's very expansive. They're not concerned about the devil and sin and original sin. This is what they teach to the public, but within their own teachings, they're very universal. They're very open. I would say that, again, it's not the problem with the movement or the religion. I would say it's just the interpretation of how it's put out, the person. I think they've made a collective choice not to share the universality, but let's stay to this theology, let's stay to this viewpoint, which I think is ultimately limiting.